Electoral and Boundary Commission as created by the Constitution. It was an act of the my ladies, my lords, when the President of the Republic referred to the IEBC, and I call upon the court to take judicial notice of that document, it was a presumption that that confirmation was done by the Electoral and Boundary Commission as created by the Constitution. But ladies, my lords, it is my humble appeal that this honorable court does fight in my favor to issue the conservatory order on the basis that there is no clearance that has been issued by the IBC.
My Lord,
all know, my ladies, my lords.
My Lord, may I kindly seek your guidance? When Mr. Jiro started off, we thought it would be a simple and a straightforward application. But now, seeing the trajectory it has taken, he has raised an avalanche of issues for which we would require them reduced in a particular format so that we can seek instructions from our clients. So we'll be seeking that we get a formal thing that will enable us to seek instructions from our clients. Dr. Kamodo, for the 10th respondent.
Your Lordship, I am making an application on the basis of the law. Your Lordship, if it is not crucial for us to have an IBC to confirm whether Professor Kithure Kindiki is a registered voter, that would mean, Your Lordship, that a person can go to Mathare Hospital and designate a person to become a deputy president. The qualifications created by the Constitution have a mechanism of being established, Your Lordships. And the process of establishing those qualifications, Your Lordship, is set down and out in law. Your Lordship.
Mr. Jiro, my understanding,
yes, Your Lordship.
When you first asked for this conservatory order,
yes, Your Lordship,
under Madu paper,
yes, Lord.
That
is his application.
Yeah.
I have on a different application. I moved under Article 23.
Because my understanding is that if you want the court to give conservatory orders immediately after rendering a ruling or a judgment, that application can be verbal, but also very short, because the court is already aware, has already expressed itself.
That's correct.
So that kind of application cannot be the beginning of another big
Your Lordship, I am well guided.
So I think for the purposes of the discretion of the
yes,
bench,
Lordship.
For the purposes of the discretion of the bench,
yes,
I think Mr. Ochieng's application is what we should be considered. Your application evidently requires to be formal.
Your Lordship, I am well guided by the court, but the court also needs to perhaps appreciate the import of Rule 24, that due to the vulnerability of the rights and the vulnerability of the infringement and the violation of the Constitution, I can appear before you.
Rights cannot be vulnerable. Individuals are.
May I have
not
my
rights.
time and then you have your response, Professor? Your Lordship, this application is premised again on Article 3. The call upon every person to protect the Constitution. And as I pen off, it is all clear to us that nobody can deny, not this court, not myself, nobody can bury his head under the sun, that there is no IBC. If Kithure Kindiki is to be sworn in tomorrow, what will be the import of swearing in a person who has not been verified and approved by the organ that is supposed to do so? Finally, Your Lordship, can this court fold its hands and watch and midwife and babysit a violation of the Constitution? What is the role of the court when it comes to the issue of Article 3 of the Constitution and the question of the sovereignty of the people? Your Lordship, I beg that you hear us. I beg that you grant the conservatory order staying the swearing in of Professor Kithure Kindiki on the basis that he has not qualified to hold that office. Secondly, on the basis that his purported qualification has not been verified by the body that is mandated to do so. In the absence of that, Your Lordship, you'll be inviting us to say that even an insane person can become deputy president, a bankrupt person can become deputy president.
Objection.
I rest my case.
My Lord, let me respond to... can I respond?
Professor Agenda and,
yes, my Lord.
And every other counsel who is seated, please sit down. We have two applications, and this is not going to be a start of another court process. It's not going to be a start of another court process. The applications which have been made are discretional. So I'll only allow one response, and then we'll render a ruling. Only one response.
Yeah, my Lord, if I may respond, my Lord.
My Lord, kindly, with your permission. With your permission.
My Lord, you've made a ruling.
Okay. Okay, let me hear two people from this side.
Okay. Then two from... You're one person.
Dr. Khaminwa, please say what you want to say and be mindful of time, please.
Yeah, I won't take my time. Justice Eric Ogola, Justice Anthony Murima, and Lady Justice Frida Mugambi. I've listened to what you have said very carefully. And from my point of view, one who is interested in developing the jurisprudence of the country, you have done so. You have developed jurisprudence of the country. But there is one thing I would like to point out to you very respectfully. That we are operating in very dangerous waters with strong currents. And this is an area where we have to call for wisdom. We have to call for deeper understanding of human nature and for deeper understanding of the society in which we live, Kenya. And what I'm saying to you is reflected in my broad reading of the authorities in cases in United States of America. Your Honor, if I may say so with respect, perhaps more than anybody else, when I was engaged to get involved in this case, I ordered for books from India straight, about 11 volumes on impeachments. And I've taken the trouble to read them day and night. And one thing that has emerged from all these authorities when I was reading them very carefully is that the courts in the United States have continued to think very carefully, how will this judgment be received by the people, by the consumers? How will it be received? Is it a judgment that will continue to promote stability in the country? Is it a judgment that will continue to promote the rule of law? Is it a judgment or ruling will continue to promote stability in the country? And it's here that I'm inviting you very respectfully that you consider the able remarks of my learned friend, Mr. Degwa, that we should not, and my learned friend, Mr. Ochiel, we should not ignore what they are saying lightly at all. With a tremendous respect, we don't want to move out of this courtroom and then all of a sudden we are told that there are protests now in such and such an area. My Lord, I'm not trying to intimidate anybody at
Just
all.
hold on.
All that I'm saying to you, Your Lord.
Sorry, my lords. The utterances by the Honorable Dr. Khaminwa
I'm not honorable.
I'm giving you the titles.
No, what I'm saying, let me say what I want to say.
And unfortunately, they're insightful. They are trying to preempt matters that are not before this court. We do not know, and we cannot speculate that anyone is going to be happy or unhappy about it. The sword of justice cuts both ways. There are those who are going to be happy, there are those who are going to be unhappy. That is how life is, but you cannot incite by saying from here, we will have protests, we will have what? We do not know of that. And unfortunately, my lords, I ask you to kindly restrain him from taking that route.
With your kind permission, Your Honor.
Please sit down. Please sit down. We want you to know that we have rendered ourselves in this matter. We have rendered ourselves in this matter, and we are not going to open this matter for a further court proceeding. There are two applications before the court, one by Dedlo Chieng and one by Ndegwa. After Dr. Khaminwa has spoken, we'll allow two people to respond, and then we'll make a ruling.
My Lord, I was to also, you indicated that two people, and I was prepared kindly to make an application.
Continue, Dr. Khaminwa.
No, my Lord, I'm actually showing one sentence. When you read the books I have referred to the authorities in America, the judges have made a finding along these lines. Yes, this is the legal position. So and so is guilty. But we shall not go ahead and do that at all. We shall leave him to continue. So that's all I'm saying to you. You have come up with a very, if I may say so, a ruling full of jurisprudence, and particularly my Lord Justice Murima has come up with something that I had not thought of very much at all. But all that I'm saying to you, that you are but you still have the discretion to say that, look, we are not doing, these are our findings, but still we are going ahead to give conservatory orders for so many days or so many weeks and so on. You still have that discretion for the sake of the country. Thank you.
My Lord, in brief response.
May I kindly, my name is Sam Nyaberi. I appear for the 9th petitioner.